Today we're going to go through the process of taking an ordinary bottle, a vase, a lid, and a mason jar and turning them into a PyroDino habitat. The easiest thing to do is to take a clean, clear container, usually glass, but it can be plastic, that has a lid or something that can cover it, at least loosely, and to convert that into a PyroDino habitat. And you can use most any clean, clear container, like this empty bottle of rum, this vase, our container, that glass vase that we purchased on Amazon, and this small mason jar, which we can keep a small culture in. So we're going to show you how to clean and prep these for DIY dinoflagellate habitat. Now, we're not going to go into too much detail, but we did soak this bottle and take the label off. We did that by soaking. We used a razor blade to take the label off, and then we used some cooking oil actually to remove the glue and to get most of the glue off. And once you have a bottle that's fairly clean and free of labeling, or it doesn't have tint, unfortunately you can't use bottles with tint if it's a color that usually doesn't work well. So as long as they're clear and clean, they should work just fine. And so now we're going to show you the clean part. Okay, the next step is disinfecting our containers, and this is something we recommend. It's not something you have to do, but there's a couple ways to disinfect a container. We're going to use a microwave oven, and we're only going to put the glass part of the containers that we're using. We fill them with a little bit of water to heat, so the microwave has something to work on. And this is just regular tap water we fill them with. And we're going to microwave just the mason jar bottom, not the metal lid obviously, and just the base without the cork lid. So we'll do this for about 2 minutes, or just to get the water hot to almost boiling or boiling. And that should be good enough. Some other things you can do to disinfect glassware is bake the glassware in an oven for about 20 minutes at 400. I know it sounds a lot, but as long as it's just glass, it should be fine. If you have a pressure cooker that can fit your vase or glassware, you can put them in a pressure cooker with water and use a pressure cooker. If you have a UV light, you can put them under a UV disinfecting light. Just be sure to protect your eyes and make sure you're not around that, but under a UV light, a germicidal UV light, probably 15-20 minutes is all you need. So there are a lot of ways to disinfect your container, and again, it's not absolutely necessary, but it is recommended and it's good practice. Okay, they were in there for 2 minutes. It's okay to kind of let them sit there and cool before you grab them. They're going to be hot. If you have oven mitts or something to grab them with, you can. We have gloves here, so I'm going to use gloves to go in and grab these guys. And even though the water's not boiling right now, it's very hot, and that's plenty to disinfect your container and making sure there are no other microorganisms growing in that container. We have our containers. These two have been microwaved without the lids, and we let them dry out. Now we're going to do the final step, which is giving them a quick rinse with Dino Nutrients. You can either use the Blue Boost Dino Nutrients or our regular Dino Nutrients. And once we give it a quick rinse, then we can fill with PyroDinos. So here's our PyroDinos. And we also have some GrowPro flasks that are very full with PyroDinos. And we're going to fill at night. It's fun to fill at night and see them light up. So the first thing we want to do is rinse. So I'm going to grab some Blue Boost Dino Nutrients and just add a small amount into this one, and then a small amount into my mason jar. Okay. And what you want to do is you just want to swirl it around, cover the parts where the dinoflagellates are living, rinse away any soap residue or any other type of cleaner that might be in there, kind of coat it. And this is beneficial. You don't have to do this, but we recommend it. So with this guy, we're going to kind of roll him around, swirl, get all the sides coated. These were the dinoflagellates, PyroDinos will be doing. And empty. And we're just emptying into a glass, our water bear glass. That's water bear. Everyone has a water bear glass, I'm sure. And oh yeah, we're going to do this bottle as well. So let's rinse with this. We'll use a little more Blue Boost. And we'll add the Blue Boost. And with the bottle, it does have a cap you can screw on this lid. And we'll give this a little shake, swirl. See, there's not a lot of Dino Nutrients in there. Just a small amount, just enough to rinse and coat it. And that's your real final rinse. Again, this is not mandatory, but we do recommend it. So now you have your 3 containers ready to fill. We're going to turn off the lights and fill. I know this is dark, but you'll see why it's dark. So we're going to take our first container here, and we're going to take one of our GrowPro flasks that we have right here, and we're going to populate it. Just pour, not everything, because we want to keep this flask going, so we're going to pour a little bit in there, and then we're going to keep some in the flask, as you can see. Have a little bit here, and that's a good starter amount. We can add a little bit more if we want to, or we can just put the lid back on, and you have your new dinoflagellate habitat. Okay, so we have this guy started, and we could add a little bit of Dino Nutrients at this time. It's up to you. I guess I will. Add some Dino Nutrients, see what it looks like. Add a little more Dino Nutrients. Just a tiny bit, just to top it off. And then, yeah, that's our filter there. It's really cool. We'll take it right over here. We're going to take our mason jar, and we're going to take some PyroDinos. You can see that, but you can take some PyroDinos that I just spilled, and we're going to add some PyroDinos to our mason jar. You don't want to fill it up too much. I think that it's better 1/3 to 1/2 full, whatever container you're using, and that has a lot to do with just the air exchange and being able to swirl it at night. So when we put the lid back on, like this mason jar, you could poke some holes in it. You can also leave the lid on loosely and just maybe tighten it up a little when you're going to swirl it, like right now. So we swirl it, you can see it, and that's our new container. I'll loosen the lid just a little bit to let it breathe, because they do consume CO2 or carbon dioxide, and they do produce oxygen. So you want to make sure that there's some air exchange. Now we're going to fill this bottle. I don't know if this fits the full frame, but here it goes. We'll use the rest of our PyroDinos here, and we'll pour those in to our Captain Morgan's bottle. We're not sponsored by Captain Morgan's. But hey, we wouldn't mind being sponsored by Captain Morgan's. And there. Fill that bottle up a little bit. This bottle is a larger volume, obviously, so we can pour a little bit more in. I'm going to take my other Pro flask I have right here, and this is a good culture. This has been growing for a few weeks, so it's going to be really bright. Yeah, that's great. And since, and I can really show you this culture because it's so we'll keep this one going. What I'll do now, and since this is so dense, we have a high cell density in here, it would be a good time to feed it. So it's always good to feed when you have a lot of cells and you have high cell density. It's really bright, it's a good time to feed. So we are going to feed this guy right now. I just want to use up the rest of these Dino Nutrients. That'll be good because I've filled less than half the volume of that. You can see they're happy and bright in there. Take this guy, and I'm just going to add the rest to our bottle here. And I'm washing some of the dinos off the side too that may have stuck to the side. If you do have PyroDinos that stick to the side, don't worry about it. They generally make their way back down via just gravity if you have a clean container. So now we have our bottle, our base, and our little mason jar. Almost any clean, clear container can be turned into a PyroDino habitat. And of course, we can add more to this as the weeks go on. We can add more Dino Nutrients, increase the volume as well. Do whatever we want. Start filling bigger and bigger containers if we want. A good system to start expanding your PyroDinos would be the GrowPro system, which does include 2 of these flasks. These flasks are really ideal at doing what I just did tonight, which is continually feeding and adding, growing your culture, and then expanding it or pouring it into a new container. And that's what these flasks are great at. And you can keep on building up your flasks and keep on populating new containers. Or you can just keep them in the flasks themselves. So thank you for watching our video. We are PyroFarms. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are watching this on YouTube. And please check out our website, pyrofarms.com. We have everything to get your bioluminescent dinoflagellate hobby up